In life, there is one belief that can move mountains, overcome fears, and turn dreams into reality. The belief in yourself. Too many people wait for the world to give them permission to start, to succeed, to become who they are meant to be. But the truth is, no one can hand you that permission. You must claim it yourself. You must look within and decide, no matter how many times I fall, I will rise again. No matter how many voices doubt me, I will trust my own. This is where strength begins, not in the absence of fear, but in the decision to believe anyway. Every great journey begins with a single, unshakable decision. To believe in yourself. It sounds simple, almost too simple. And because of its simplicity, most people underestimate its power. They focus on strategies, on resources, on connections, forgetting that all of these tools become useless if the person holding them does not trust themselves to use them. Imagine handing the sharpest sword to a warrior who does not believe they can win. That sword will remain sheathed. The battle will be lost before it begins. Self-belief is not something you are born with in its final form. It is cultivated, built piece by piece through your actions, your mindset, and your choices. When you believe in yourself, you are giving yourself permission to try, to fail, to learn, and to rise again. Without this permission, you remain trapped in hesitation. Opportunities will pass, doors will close, and not because you lack the ability, but because you lack the faith to take the step. When you look at people who have achieved extraordinary things, you will often find that their circumstances were far from perfect. Many started with less than you have right now. Some were told from the beginning that they would never make it. But they kept moving forward, not because they had guarantees, but because they had belief. They understood that the journey to success does not begin with proof, it begins with trust. Proof comes later as a reward for the courage to start. Self-belief is the foundation because it shapes how you respond to life. Without it, every challenge feels like a wall. With it, every challenge becomes a stepping stone. Without it, criticism becomes a crushing weight. With it, criticism becomes a tool for refinement. Without it, failure feels like a dead end. With it, failure becomes a detour, not a destination. You cannot borrow true belief from others. Encouragement from friends, family, or mentors can light the way, but it cannot walk the path for you. Even if the whole world believes in you, it will not matter if you do not believe in yourself. But here is the beautiful truth: you can ignite that belief without anyone's permission. It begins with how you speak to yourself, how you hold yourself, and how you act in the face of doubt. Belief is not about arrogance. It is not about thinking you are better than everyone else. It is about understanding that you have the capacity to grow, to adapt, and to succeed in your own way. It is about knowing that you may not have all the answers right now, but you trust yourself to figure them out. This quiet confidence is far more powerful than loud bravado. Loud voices fade, inner conviction endures. Think of self-belief as the root of a tree. You can decorate the branches with skills, knowledge, and achievements, but if the root is weak, the tree will not survive the storm. Life will bring storms of failure, of loss, of rejection. When those storms hit, the only thing that will keep you standing is the strength of your root, and that root is belief. Many people delay action until they feel ready. They think belief will come after they have prepared enough, learned enough, or seen enough success. But that is not how it works. Belief is not a gift you receive at the finish line. It is the fuel you need to start the race. And here is the paradox: the more you act, even while feeling uncertain, the more your belief will grow. Action creates evidence. Evidence strengthens belief. Belief fuels more action. This is the cycle of growth. If you are waiting for a sign to believe in yourself, let this be it. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need everyone's approval. You do not need a clear view of the entire road ahead. You only need the courage to take the first step with faith in yourself. Because when you believe, you begin to see possibilities where others see limits. You begin to act with conviction instead of hesitation. And in the end, it is not talent, luck, or timing that determines who succeeds. It is the person who refused to doubt themselves when it mattered most. So let your foundation be strong. Protect it. Strengthen it every day with discipline, with learning, with courage, because from that foundation you can build anything you dream of. And without it, even the most beautiful dreams will crumble. Self-belief is where it all begins, and it is the one thing no one can take away from you unless you give it up willingly. In this life, you will meet many people. Some will inspire you, some will challenge you, and some will doubt you. But the truth is, no matter how many supportive people surround you, there will come moments when you are alone with your thoughts, and in those moments your voice, the one inside your head, will be the loudest. That voice can either push you forward or pull you down. That's why you must learn to be your own greatest supporter. It is a mistake to rely solely on the encouragement of others to keep moving forward. There will be days when no one notices the effort you put in. There will be times when the people you thought would cheer for you are silent. And sometimes, Those who love you most might unintentionally plant seeds of doubt, simply because they cannot see what you see. If your confidence depends on their approval, it will rise and fall like the tide. But when your confidence comes from within, it becomes steady, unshakable, and immune to the changing opinions of others. Being your own greatest supporter means speaking to yourself with kindness and strength. Even when you feel weak, it means refusing to let mistakes define you, and instead using them as fuel for growth. Too often, people become their own harshest critics. They replay every failure, magnify every shortcoming, and compare their worst moments to other people's best. This is a dangerous habit. You cannot walk toward the light while dragging the weight of constant self-criticism. Support yourself the way you would support someone you care about. If a friend came to you, broken by failure, you would not tell them they are worthless. You would encourage them, remind them of their strengths, and tell them to keep going. So why should you treat yourself any differently? Self-compassion is not weakness. It is the foundation of resilience. It allows you to recover faster from setbacks because you are not wasting energy fighting against yourself. But being your own supporter is more than just words of comfort. It is also about holding yourself accountable and pushing yourself to grow. Support is not blind indulgence, it is guidance toward your highest potential. Sometimes the most supportive thing you can do for yourself is to demand more from yourself, to refuse to settle for less than you are capable of. This balance between self-kindness and self-discipline is where true growth happens. You must also learn to celebrate your own victories, no matter how small they seem. Too often, we skip over our achievements, thinking they are not big enough to matter. But every step forward is worth acknowledging. When you celebrate your progress, you send yourself a message. I see my effort. I value my journey. This keeps your motivation alive even when the road feels long. There is another reason you must become your own greatest supporter. Because the world will not always understand your vision. People see the world through their own fears and limitations, and they may project those onto you. They may tell you your dreams are unrealistic, not because they cannot be achieved, but because they cannot imagine themselves achieving them. If you allow their doubts to outweigh your belief, your vision will fade before it even has the chance to take form. Think of the great achievers throughout history. At some point, every one of them stood alone with their ideas, facing resistance, skepticism, or outright ridicule. If they had waited for universal support before taking action, the world would never have seen their contributions. The same is true for you. Your dream is yours for a reason. It was given to you, not to them. Therefore, it is your responsibility to protect it, nurture it, and believe in it even when no one else does. Being your own supporter is also about protecting your mental space. It means not allowing negativity, gossip, or criticism to take root in your mind. You must filter the voices you allow to influence you, including your own. Ask yourself, is what I am telling myself helping me move forward or holding me back? This level of awareness is the first step to building an inner environment where belief can grow strong. Another important aspect is patience. Supporting yourself means understanding that growth takes time. You cannot expect immediate results from every effort. Just as a seed takes time to break the soil and grow into a tree, your efforts need time to bear fruit. In the meantime, you must keep watering the seed with belief, discipline, and consistent action. Impatience is the enemy of self-support. It makes you abandon your dreams before they have a chance to mature. Lastly, remember that being your own greatest supporter is a lifelong practice. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when fear whispers louder than belief. On those days, you must remind yourself of the times you overcame difficulties before. You must remember the strength you have already shown, the storms you have already survived. If you could make it through those challenges, you can make it through the next ones. When you stand by yourself in this way, not just in moments of confidence, but also in moments of uncertainty, you become unstoppable. You no longer wait for permission to move forward. You no longer crumble when others disapprove, and you no longer fear walking alone, because you know you are walking with the most important ally you will ever have, yourself. Be your own greatest supporter. Be the voice that says, I can, when the world says you can't. Be the force that pushes you forward when everything else is pulling you back. Because when you have yourself on your side, there is nothing you cannot face. It is easy to believe in yourself when life is smooth. When the skies are clear and the path is straight, you feel unstoppable. But the true measure of belief is not seen in times of comfort. It is revealed in the moments when life becomes difficult. Challenges are not random obstacles placed in your way to break you. They are deliberate tests that reveal how deeply your belief in yourself truly runs. When you face a challenge, it is like standing in front of a mirror that shows not your appearance, but your inner strength. It shows whether your confidence is surface, level, or rooted deep within. Anyone can speak words of courage when the sun is shining, but only those with genuine belief can take action when the storm comes. Understand these challenges are not punishments. They are invitations. They invite you to grow, to stretch beyond what you thought possible, and to strengthen the parts of yourself that comfort can never strengthen. If life gave you only what you already know how to handle, you would never expand. You would remain the same, trapped within the limits of your current abilities. In many ways, belief is like a muscle. It can feel strong in moments of light use, but it only truly grows when it is tested under weight. And the heavier the challenge, the greater the opportunity for growth. Without resistance, the muscle of belief weakens. With resistance, it becomes powerful. This is why challenges are necessary, not just for achieving success, but for becoming the kind of person capable of sustaining it. However, there is a common trap. When people encounter difficulties, they often assume it means they are on the wrong path. They say, if this were meant to be, it would be easier. This is a dangerous misunderstanding. The path of growth is rarely easy. In fact, if your path is completely without struggle, it might be a sign that you are not aiming high enough. True goals will demand more from you than you have ever given before, and challenges are simply the proof that you are moving into new territory. When a challenge appears, it will test more than just your skill. It will test your patience, your discipline, your resilience, and your vision. It will ask, do you still believe even now? And here lies the heart of the lesson. Belief that disappears when things get hard was never belief. It was convenience. True belief is the quiet, unshakable yes that remains even when everything around you says no. Challenges also strip away illusions. When things are easy, you can fool yourself into thinking you are prepared. But when the pressure rises, your weaknesses are exposed. This is not a reason to feel ashamed. It is an opportunity to see where you must improve. Each challenge is a teacher showing you the gaps in your armor, the places where you need to grow stronger. If you face it with humility and courage, you will emerge better than before. There is another gift that challenges bring: clarity. When life tests you, you are forced to decide what truly matters to you. If your dream is weak, if it is just a passing interest, you will abandon it at the first sign of struggle. But if it is something you truly desire from the depth of your being, the challenge will only make your commitment stronger. The greater the test, the more you realize whether your goal is worth fighting for. Some people see challenges as walls. They stop, complain, and turn back. Others see challenges as mountains. They may not know exactly how to climb, but they know the summit is worth the effort. Which mindset you choose will determine your future. If you see challenges as walls, your journey will always be short. But if you see them as mountains, each climb will give you a higher view, a broader perspective, and a stronger spirit. And here is a truth many forget. The challenge itself is temporary. It will pass whether you overcome it or run from it. The difference lies in what remains after it is gone. If you avoid the challenge, you remain the same, perhaps even weaker for having retreated. But if you face it, even if you stumble, you gain strength, experience, and the quiet confidence of knowing you did not give up. When you look back years from now, you will not remember the times when everything went according to plan. You will remember the moments when you were tested. The days when you thought you couldn't go on but did anyway. The times when everything seemed against you and yet you found a way forward. Those are the moments that define you. So when challenges come, do not run, do not complain, and above all, do not see them as signs that you are unworthy. Instead, see them as proof that you are on the right path, the path that requires you to grow, to sharpen, to rise. Tell yourself, this is not here to stop me. This is here to prepare me. Your belief is not proven in the sunshine, it is proven in the storm. So welcome the storm when it comes, because it is the storm that makes the roots grow deep. And when your roots are deep, no wind can topple you. Many people treat failure as a final judgment, as if a single mistake or a series of setbacks means they are not capable, not worthy, not destined to succeed. This is a misunderstanding that destroys more dreams than the challenges themselves. Failure is not the opposite of belief. In fact, failure is an essential part of it. It is the training ground where belief is tested, refined, and made unshakable. Think about it. If belief only exists when you win, then it is fragile. True belief exists even when you lose, because it does not depend on the outcome of a single event. It is rooted in something deeper. The conviction that no matter how many times you fall, you will get back up. The problem is, most people are taught to fear failure from a young age. They are told that mistakes are shameful, that losing means they are less than others. And so, they grow up trying to avoid failure at all costs. But what happens when you avoid failure? You also avoid growth, you avoid taking risks, you avoid stepping outside the safe but limited space you already know. You might avoid pain, yes, but you also avoid your true potential. Failure is simply feedback. It is life's way of saying, not this way, try again. It is a teacher that does not flatter you with empty praise, but instead shows you, without lies, where you must improve. It strips away illusions, humbles you, and forces you to confront your weaknesses. And while it may hurt in the moment, it leaves behind something valuable. Lessons you could not have learned any other way. Belief without failure is like a sword that has never been tested in battle. It might look sharp, but you do not know how it will hold up under real pressure. Each failure is a strike against that sword, not to break it, but to temper it, to make it stronger, more resilient, more reliable when it matters most. The truth is, every great success story is also a story of repeated failures. History remembers the breakthroughs, but behind each one lies a long trail of setbacks, wrong turns, and near defeats. The inventors, leaders, athletes, and artists we admire were not spared from failure. They simply refused to let it end their journey. They understood that failure is part of the price you pay for mastery. Failure also serves another purpose. It deepens your belief in a way success alone never could. When you succeed without struggle, you do not yet know the full extent of your strength. But when you fail, when you feel the weight of disappointment and still choose to rise, you discover something powerful. You can survive the fall. And once you know that, fear loses much of its control over you. Of course, failure alone does not lead to growth. It is possible to fail and learn nothing, to repeat the same mistakes again and again. The difference lies in how you respond. Do you run from failure, pretending it never happened? Or do you study it, understand it, and adapt your approach? Those who grow from failure are those who are humble enough to accept the lesson and disciplined enough to apply it. There is another way to look at failure, as a sign that you are aiming high enough. If you are succeeding at everything you try, it may be a sign that you are staying within your comfort zone. The absence of failure is not always a sign of skill. Sometimes it is a sign of safety, of playing too small. To achieve something extraordinary, you must be willing to risk the sting of failure again and again. Failure will also test your patience. In a world that demands instant results, failure forces you to slow down, to accept that great things take time. It teaches you endurance, the ability to keep going even when progress feels invisible. This endurance is a core part of belief. It is easy to trust yourself when the rewards are immediate, but true trust is built in the long, quiet stretches where you see no reward yet keep moving forward. And here is perhaps the most important truth: failure does not define you. The only thing that can define you is your response to it. You are not the mistake you made, you are the lesson you took from it, and the action you take next. People who give up after failure are remembered for the moment they stopped. People who push forward despite failure are remembered for the moment they broke through. So, when you fail, and you will, because anyone who dares to grow must, do not ask, why me? Instead ask, what now? Let the failure burn away your ego, your impatience, and your illusions. Let it shape your character, sharpen your skills, and solidify your belief in yourself. Because belief that has passed through the fire of failure is no longer fragile. It is tested. It is real. When you understand that failure is not an ending but a part of the journey, you begin to welcome it. You stop fearing it. You see it as the doorway to your next level of growth. And you realize that every great leap forward you will ever make will come after a stumble, a setback, or a fall. Failure is not the opposite of belief. It is the forge in which belief is made unbreakable. The greatest mistake many people make is to live their life as though it were a race against someone else. From the moment we are young, we are taught to measure ourselves against the grades of our classmates, the career choices of our friends, the possessions of our neighbors, and the milestones of our peers. We compare our chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, and then wonder why we feel so far behind. But life was never meant to be lived in this way. The truth is simple: your journey is yours alone. No one else walks the exact same path as you. No one else carries your exact burdens, and no one else has been given your unique combination of challenges and opportunities. When you compare yourself to others, you do two things that weaken your spirit. First, you rob yourself of joy in the present moment because you measure your worth against someone else's scoreboard. Second, you blind yourself to the beauty and progress of your own journey. Imagine climbing a mountain while constantly turning your head to see how fast others are climbing theirs. You will stumble, you will slow down, and you may even fall. The only way to climb with strength is to focus on your own steps. Understand this: every person's path is shaped by countless unseen factors. The struggles they have endured, the sacrifices they have made, the resources they had or lacked, all of these are invisible from the outside. That is why comparing timelines is meaningless. Just because someone reached a certain success at 25 does not mean you have failed if you achieve it at 40. The flower that blooms in spring is no less beautiful than the one that blooms in autumn. The sun rises and sets every day, yet never in exactly the same way. Why would your journey be any different? The truth is, comparison is a thief. It steals the energy that could be used to build your future and wastes it on resenting someone else's present. Every minute you spend envying another's path is a minute you neglect walking your own. You do not know what battles they have fought silently, what pain hides behind their smiles, or what sacrifices were made for their successes. The reality is that what you see on the outside is never the full picture. Social media, casual conversations, and public appearances are often polished masks, not the raw truth. Instead of comparison, choose focus. Instead of measuring your worth by another's achievements, measure it by your own growth. Ask yourself, am I stronger than I was yesterday? Have I learned something new? Have I kept moving forward, even if only a small step? These questions put you in control. They free you from the race you were never meant to run and allow you to walk your own path with dignity and peace. Your journey is yours, and because it is yours, you are responsible for shaping it. That means you must take ownership of your time, your habits, and your decisions. Do not let other people's opinions dictate your pace. There will always be those who say you are too slow, too late, or too ambitious. Ignore the noise. The only voice that truly matters is the one inside you that knows your purpose and direction. Trust that voice, even when the world doubts you. Remember that a journey is not just about the destination. It is about the person you become along the way. Sometimes the reason your path seems slower is because you are being prepared for something greater. While others may appear to sprint ahead, you may be building deeper roots, learning harder lessons, and gaining wisdom that will sustain you for the long term. A tree that grows too quickly without strong roots is easily blown over by the wind. But a tree that grows steadily, sending its roots deep into the earth, can withstand any storm. Do not be afraid of moving at your own pace. The turtle and the rabbit may start at the same place, but their journeys look completely different. And in the end, the one who moves steadily often wins. Life is not a 100-meter dash, it is a marathon through unpredictable terrain. You will face hills that others never see, valleys that others never enter, and victories that only you can celebrate. If you truly want to honor your journey, learn to appreciate the small milestones along the way. Celebrate each improvement, no matter how minor it may seem. Keep a record of your progress, not to compare with others, but to remind yourself of how far you've come. When the days feel heavy and progress feels slow, looking back on your own steps will give you the motivation to keep going. Most importantly, understand that your path will twist, turn, and sometimes double back on itself. You will face detours and delays that you did not expect, but those moments are not wasted, they are part of the design. The setbacks you encounter often prepare you for opportunities you could not have handled before. The lessons you learn in difficulty are the very tools that will open new doors later on. So walk your path with your head high. Let others run, skip, or even stumble on theirs. It is none of your concern. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Whether your steps are big or small, whether your pace is fast or slow, you are still making progress. You are still writing your story, and no one else can write it for you. In the end, the measure of your life will not be how quickly you arrived at some destination compared to others. It will be how faithfully you lived according to your own values, how courageously you faced your own trials, and how deeply you appreciated your own journey. Remember, there is only one you, and there will only ever be one journey like yours. Walk it with pride, walk it with purpose, and most of all, walk it knowing that it is yours alone. Belief is not something that appears fully formed in a single moment of inspiration. It is something cultivated, strengthened, and proven over time. And the way it grows is not through grand gestures or life-changing events, but through the small, consistent victories you win each day. Many people wait for the big break, the defining moment when everything will suddenly change for them. They dream of that one achievement that will erase all doubts and silence all critics. But the truth is, those big moments are built upon a foundation of hundreds, even thousands, of smaller moments. Moments when you made a choice to act, to persist, to overcome. Think about it. If you tell yourself you want to climb a mountain, the belief that you can do it will not come from staring at the peak from a distance. It will come from the steady rhythm of each step you take, from the times you've hiked before and succeeded, from the muscles you've built in preparation, from the mental toughness you've sharpened through smaller challenges. These are your small victories, and with each one, your confidence becomes less of a fragile wish and more of an unshakable truth. The problem is, most people underestimate the value of these small victories. They dismiss them because they don't look impressive to the outside world. Waking up on time every day for a week may not earn you applause. Saying no to a distraction once may not be celebrated. Finishing a workout when you didn't feel like it won't make the news. But here's the secret: these seemingly insignificant wins are exactly what will shape your identity. Every time you do what you said you would do, you're proving to yourself that your word matters. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen the bridge between intention and action. And it is this bridge that carries your belief forward. small victories also have a compounding effect. Just like small deposits in a bank account eventually grow into something substantial, small victories accumulate into a powerful store of self-confidence. When you look back and see a long trail of these wins behind you, your mind begins to say, if I could do all of that, I can handle this too. This is why elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and disciplined monks all follow daily routines and rituals. They understand that consistency in small actions creates mastery. They don't wait for motivation to appear, they build it by stacking these small wins, day after day. Another reason small victories are powerful is that they are within your control. You cannot always control the big opportunities in life. You can't decide when someone will give you a promotion, when the perfect client will call, or when the world will recognize your talent. But you can control whether you show up prepared. You can control whether you complete your daily training. You can control whether you make the effort today, even when no one is watching. And each time you choose to do what is in your control, you send yourself a message. I am capable. I am reliable. I can trust myself. It's also important to remember that belief built through small victories is resilient belief. When your confidence depends only on big wins, it becomes fragile. If the big win doesn't come, you feel crushed. But when your confidence is built on a foundation of many small victories, it can withstand setbacks. Why? Because even when you fail in one area, you still have a long history of wins to draw strength from. You can remind yourself, I have overcome before. I have disciplined myself before. I have done hard things before. This is no different. If you want to put this principle into practice, start by identifying what small wins would matter most in your life right now. They should be challenging enough to push you forward, but small enough to be achievable every day. For example, committing to reading 10 pages of a book each day, meditating for 5 minutes each morning, exercising for 20 minutes daily, writing a single page if you want to become a writer, making one phone call if you're building a business. At first, these will feel too small to matter, but over time, they will become the evidence your belief is built upon. The key is to treat these small victories with the respect you would give to a major accomplishment. Celebrate them. Notice them. Write them down. When you acknowledge your progress, you anchor it into your identity. You stop being someone who hopes to become disciplined and start becoming someone who is disciplined. And as your identity shifts, so does your belief in what is possible. Also, don't underestimate the mental shift that comes from these wins. When you have a day where you do the hard things you promised yourself you would do, you go to bed with a sense of pride and peace. That feeling compounds over time into an unshakable trust in yourself. You no longer doubt whether you can follow through. You know you can, because you've proven it again and again. And here's the most beautiful part: small victories create momentum, and momentum creates larger victories. It's a natural progression. When you've proven to yourself that you can wake up early consistently, you gain the energy to take on a more demanding morning routine. When you've proven to yourself that you can save a small portion of your income, you naturally start saving more. When you've proven to yourself that you can speak confidently in a small meeting, you start believing you can speak in front of a larger audience. One leads to the other, and before you realize it, those little steps have carried you miles forward. So, if you want to strengthen your belief in yourself, stop looking only at the summit and start focusing on your next step. Start seeing the power in the small decisions you make today. When you train your mind to value these wins, you will no longer underestimate yourself. You will see that you are capable of far more than you once thought, because you've been proving it every day. The truth is, belief isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. And brick by brick, step by step, small victory by small victory, you are building something unshakable. Keep going, because every time you win in the small things, you prepare yourself to win in the big things. One day, others will look at you and say, how did they do it? And you will know the answer: you built your belief, one small victory at a time. When you truly believe in yourself, something inside you shifts. It's as if an invisible lock has been opened, and the limitations you once thought were real begin to fade away. The same world that once seemed filled with obstacles suddenly becomes a field of opportunities. This is not magic, and it's not luck. It's the unshakable power of inner conviction. When you believe deeply in your abilities, your worth, and your purpose, you operate at a completely different level. Your actions gain a clarity and precision they didn't have before, because your mind is no longer clouded with hesitation or doubt. Every step you take is fueled by certainty, and that certainty becomes magnetic. It draws the right opportunities, people, and resources towards you. True belief in yourself is not just about thinking positive thoughts or repeating affirmations. Those things can help, but they are only the surface. Real self-belief comes from a place of alignment between your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It means you know your strengths, you accept your weaknesses, and you are committed to moving forward regardless. You stop waiting for perfect conditions because you understand that the power lies in beginning, not in perfection. When you are truly convinced that you have what it takes, you no longer see the if in your success, only the when. This unshakable belief acts like armor in a world that often tests you. People may doubt you, situations may challenge you, and life will inevitably throw setbacks in your path. But when your conviction is strong, none of these things can derail you for long. You may stumble, but you rise quickly. You may fall, but you see every fall as a lesson, not a defeat. Others might see walls, you see doors waiting to be found. This is the quiet but unbreakable strength of someone who knows who they are and where they are going. The moment you truly believe in yourself, your relationship with fear changes. Fear doesn't disappear, it transforms. Instead of being a barrier, it becomes a guide, pointing you toward areas where you need to grow. You stop running from it and start walking through it. You realize that every time you confront what scares you, you expand your capacity. This is why self-belief makes you unstoppable. The things that intimidate others no longer have the same power over you. You've faced discomfort, you've proven to yourself that you can endure, and that endurance fuels even more confidence. This mindset also changes how you approach opportunities. Many people let chances pass by because they doubt they're ready, skilled enough, or deserving. But when your belief is solid, you step forward before you feel ready, trusting that you will learn and adapt along the way. You stop asking, "Am I good enough?" and start saying, "I will become good enough through action." You see every challenge as a stepping stone, not a trap. And with each challenge you overcome, your belief deepens, creating a cycle of growth that becomes hard to stop. Another powerful effect of true belief is how it influences those around you. Confidence is contagious. When you carry yourself with quiet certainty, people feel it. They begin to trust you, follow you, and even look to you for guidance. This isn't because you pretend to know everything. It's because you project an energy of commitment and resilience. You send the unspoken message that you will find a way, no matter what. And that kind of energy draws allies, mentors, and supporters who help accelerate your journey. Being unstoppable doesn't mean you won't face setbacks or moments of doubt. It means you will no longer let those moments control your destiny. You will still have days where things feel heavy, where progress seems slow, or where you question your direction. The difference is, you will not quit. You'll keep moving, even if the pace is slow, because your belief tells you that movement is always better than stagnation. You understand that consistency, not speed, is the real driver of long-term success. This unwavering belief also frees you from the need to constantly seek approval. You no longer measure your worth by other people's opinions, because your sense of self comes from within. External criticism may still sting, but it doesn't shake your foundation. You can listen to feedback, decide if it's useful, and move forward without getting lost in self-doubt. You trust your own judgment enough to know when to adapt and when to stand firm. Over time, this mindset turns you into a force of nature. Obstacles that might stop others become challenges you welcome. Competition doesn't intimidate you, it sharpens you. Delays don't discourage you, they prepare you. Failures don't break you, they refine you. Every difficulty becomes part of the training that makes you stronger and wiser. In this way, self-belief turns life itself into a teacher, and you become an unstoppable student who keeps advancing no matter the conditions. The truth is, the world is full of people with great potential who never reach it because they don't believe they can. Talent without belief often goes unused. But belief without extraordinary talent can still achieve greatness, because belief drives consistent action, and consistent action creates results. This is why self-belief is such a powerful force. It transforms possibility into reality through relentless effort. So if you want to become unstoppable, start by strengthening your belief in yourself every single day. Keep promises to yourself, set small challenges and conquer them, and remind yourself of your past victories when doubt tries to creep in. Protect your mind from negativity, surround yourself with those who uplift you, and feed your spirit with thoughts and actions that affirm your worth. Understand that the journey won't always be easy, but ease was never the goal, growth was. When you live with this level of conviction, nothing can truly stop you. Life may slow you down, but it will never end your progress. You will keep moving forward, fueled not by luck or circumstance, but by the deep knowing that you have within you everything you need to overcome, to achieve, and to create the life you envision. And once that belief is firmly rooted, you'll look back one day and realize that you were never waiting for the world to change. You were changing yourself, and in doing so, you changed the world around you. Your future is shaped not by what others think you can do, but by what you believe you can do. Hold that belief like a flame in your heart, guard it from the winds of doubt, and feed it every single day with action. Because the moment you truly believe in yourself, you become unstoppable. The world can put obstacles in your path, but it cannot put a limit on your spirit. So walk forward with confidence, knowing that the only permission you need to rise is your own.